Sup YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. Today we're going to be checking out Eternatus with of course Umbreon VMAX. This is a post rotation deck profile, so if you guys are hyped, be sure to let me know by destroying the hell out of this like button. This is also using the new Dragon Shield sleeves. The front is black, the back is yellow. How cool is that? If you want to have your sleeves for the new season, be sure to click the link in the description to check out some Dragon Shield products. They have the dual sleeves in every color you might imagine, and the ones I'm using right now is of course the lightning yellow, so super nice. And they are of course the sponsor of today's video. Without further ado, let's just talk about Eternatus VMAX, shall we? This is going to be a deck that actually revolves around Eternatus VMAX as the main attacker with Dread End. Of course, this was very great in a format filled with tag team GXs. Now the format is a little bit shifted to VMAXs, and I think VMAXs are the only logical solution to just be playing very good, unless you're playing the Decidueye or maybe some Rogue Regidraco deck, whatever you know. And today we're going to be checking out how good Eternatus is going to be looking like with Umbreon VMAX and the Dark Signal ability. First of all, Eternal Zone allows you to have up to 8 bench Pokemon if they are all Darkness type. Also, Eternatus is not going anywhere because we've seen from Japanese results is that Eternatus is still a strong deck choice overall. So it's very nice, low maintenance. Dread End can slap up to 270 damage output for only 2 energies, and that exactly is very good. And you also have 340 HP. The thing I've noticed with post rotation is that there's not a lot of choice for stadiums. We're going to be seeing that we are going to be running Old Cemetery. I know we are not, let me just stress that out, we are not a psychic deck, but we're going to be relying on Old Cemetery to make sure that the opponent takes damage counters as long as they attach an energy to their non-psychic Pokemon. If you attach an energy to their non-psychic Pokemon, they get 2 damage counters. That's going to help us out quite a bit to go for 1-hit KOs. We're not running Leon, but I want to stress this out. This is a unique way of playing Eternatus VMAX. You can also play this deck without any stadium cards whatsoever, but then Path to the Peak is definitely going to wreck you quite a little bit. So it all depends on what you want to be doing. You want to have a full bench of 8, maybe you don't, but this is an exact way to just put some damage on the opposing Pokemon. We also have Galarian Zigzagoon and some scoop up nets to make the rest of the damage work out. So 3 copies of Eternatus VMAX, and not only that, we have 340 freaking HP, so what can go wrong if we put some damage onto ourselves in the first place? They probably will need to 2-shot as well. So what else can we see is that we're running 4 copies of Eternatus V. The cool thing is Power Accelerator. If you go second and if you are able to use Power Accelerator, it's going to be good. It's not going to be necessary, not mandatory, because we do have Galarian Moltres and Energy Switch in this list. So, but it is a nice attack for sure to slap 30 damage, and it's going to be the way. We want to have this on the first turn, by the way, so 4 copies is the one we should take. And next is going to be Umbreon VMAX. This is, of course, a card from the Evolving Sky set, which still needs to come out, by the way. And if you evolve into Umbreon VMAX, you can actually have Boss's Orders as the effect. Super strong. You no longer need, dang it, I whiffed my Boss's Orders. Now I'm not going to be able to knock out an evolving Pokemon that wants to, like, an evolving V Pokemon to slap for 270 instantly. Well, this is going to be the case. And not only that, you can also attack with Umbreon with slapping 160 damage. Not the perfect damage output, but it actually can get some 2 shots done regardless. So it's in here for the ability. It's going to be just like Lycanroc GX of Guardians Rising. And there's also an Umbreon V, by the way, which is able to use the Mean Luck. You can trap some opponents because not a lot of decks will be running a high count of Switch. So Mean Luck is also a way you can do a lot of stuff. And if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, it's 160 as well with the Lunar Blade. Moving forward, we're going to be running 2 copies of Galarian Moltres. This Moltres is super beautiful and has the Dire Flame Wings ability. You can, once during your turn, attach the Darkness energy from the discard pile to it. And you cannot stack this, so only works once during a turn. 190 super sufficient damage output. Definitely if you consider we have Galarian Zigzagoon to add it up to further damage output. And of course, the Stadium card I mentioned before, which is going to be Old Cemetery. If the opponent is attaching energies, they're also going to get damage. So let's just state they attach an energy to Azation. Boom, it has 200 HP remaining. The Aurora Burn 190, and then Galarian Zigzagoon finishes it off. So a super solid attacker. And this is the one you can use against stuff, for instance, the Shadow Calyrex VMAX decks that are relying on Galarian Zapdos. You can use Galarian Moltres to knock that out because we have Zigzagoon pings on top of that. Super strong. It's going to be working out with, of course, energy switches. Then 4 copies of Crobat. Dark Acid is good. You slap it down, draw a lot of cards. This is the only deck that runs so much Crobat, and the reason why we're playing stadiums in the first place, we're running the stadium, is just to counter Path to the Peak. If there's ever a better stadium, you might even want to cut Old Cemetery, but I found the strategy to work out very well. If this Old Cemetery sticks, the opponent will get a lot of damage. You can use Zigzagoon and get one-hit KOs that you desire, because let's imagine you slap 270 with the crazy attack of Eternatus, the Dread End. Then the opponent attaches an energy, that's 290. Some Galarian Zigzagoon pinks, and out of nowhere you get a KO on a VMAX. How cool is that? So 4 copies of Galarian Zigzagoon for the Headbutt Tantrum, but also as bench filling. So as you can see, we have a lot of Pokemon here. You might even cut one of these cards if you want for something like a Hoopa, if you want to have an answer against the Decidueye. In my defense, I'm playing 1 copy of Phoebe, only 1 copy, just because it's going to be a surprise factor. When real life events continue once again, you want to have the Phoebe as a surprise factor, and also Umbreon can gust up the little Rowlets every single time, so you can knock out the Rowlet, and if they have one single Decidueye in the active slot, knock it out with a Phoebe when they least expect it. Next, 4 copies of Research. Yeah, here we are again with Story. Almost all decks run a lot of Research, except if you're playing a Melanie deck. Then 3 copies of Marnie. It might seem lower than usual decks. You might think, oh, 3 Marnies, is that even efficient? Well, we have 4 Crobats, and we have a lot of Stadium cards, so we draw a lot of cards. That's how it is, right? Slapping down a Stadium, drawing cards with Crobat, and then you can use Research on Marnie on top of that. 2 copies of Boss. You might think, ooh, why only 2? As imagined, Umbreon VMAX also Gust, and you have 2 bosses here, and then actually 2 more Gusting outs with Umbreon VMAX. Be careful, your Umbreon VMAX is weak to grass. If they're playing some grass box Rillaboom decks, you might be in trouble, but the crazy Eternatus VMAX can just take care of that right away. 1 copy of Phoebe. That's something I'm doubting. It's adding in stuff like a Palpad. Could work out, but I don't even find room to cut it. You need your 2-2 line of Umbreon VMAX. We're already playing a 4-3 line of Eternatus VMAX. Yeah, I don't know which cards to cut. Maybe you guys can decide for yourself. Moving forward, the item cards, we're going to be running 4 copies of Quick Ball. Of course, to just get your, you want to fill up your bench, right? You can get your Zigzagoon, your Galarian Moltres, your Umbreon, your Crobat to draw cards. So Quick Ball is very, very, very good. Then 3 copies of Great Ball, so you have some additional ways to find your Eternatus VMAX or some more cards to draw with, like the aforementioned Crobat. Then 3 copies of Evolution Incense, so lots of cards allowing you to get Pokemon from the deck. You want to slap down as many Pokemon on the bench so Dread Ant can do some significant damage output. Then 2 copies of Switch. Eternatus has a 3 retreat cost. Sometimes it might be stranded in the active position. We do have Hiding Dark Energies to help with that, but they can also sometimes trap another Pokemon, and you do need some switches. Maybe Air Balloon is also a nice way, but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about adding in maybe 1 Air Balloon, 1 Switch, but Air Balloon doesn't work too well on Eternatus, so I prefer the 2 copies of Switch. Then 2 copies of Scoop Up Net. You might think about adding in more just to have more pings with Galarian Zigzagoon, but in my testing 2 seems to be sufficient because, of course, we are running that crazy stadium card Old Cemetery. So let's just imagine a normal game. We go first, we have Eternatus, we have a huge bench, and we go crazy. Then we slap some Zigzagoons down, evolve into Eternatus VMAX, and then attach, and then Dread Ant slaps a huge damage. With some Scoop Up Nets, you technically have 6 pings, and with, of course, 1 of these Old Cemetery activations, you can get KOs on VMAXs. That's something I love doing with this deck. 3 copies of Energy Switch, allowing you to move the energy from the Galarian Moltres to your Eternatus, or maybe to your Umbreon. Maybe you want to do something with Umbreon, I don't know. It all depends on what you want to be doing, but the best part about running Galarian Moltres is, of course, never. If you whiff the first turn energy, it's not even a problem. There's just manage to get an energy in the discard pile thanks to using Quick Ball or Research, and then get it back with Galarian Moltres and use Energy Switch. 3 copies of Old Cemetery. As mentioned, very strange stadium card. I know we are not playing a Psychic deck, but we are running it to make sure we can get 1-hit KOs on VMAXs. Then for the energy count, we are going to be running 6 copies of the basic Darkness Energy. That might seem a little bit low, doesn't it? But we can get it back with Moltres and have Energy Switch. So that's the reasoning behind this. And then we're also running 2 copies of Hiding Dark Energy and 1 copy of Capture Energy. So these are the energies. The Hiding Dark will allows you to have free retreat, and the free retreat is super thankful because Eternatus has a huge retreat cost. We also have some switches around. You might actually cut up some cards here and there, but this is my initial take on Eternatus after rotation. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to destroy the hell out of the like button. Helps out so much. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. As mentioned, this video was sponsored by dragonshield.com. Be sure to check out the links if you're looking for these specific products. These dual sleeves are just released up on the market, and they are very, very cool. The back is yellow, the front is black, and having a black front is super nice, and then having yellow here, then they feel super nice. They shuffle like the best sleeves ever. Also, go check out cardmarket.com if you're interested into buying physical product from Europe. If you're a European player, be sure to do that. You can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. And if you're looking for TCGO code cards for the TCG online, you can go and check out potownstore.com, the best place, of course, to get TCGO code cards, promo codes, the latest booster packs in town. That's what you need. Be sure to use the coupon code ZapDoesTCG for 5% on potownstore.com. And last but certainly not least is yourplaymat.com. Do you want to create your own unique custom playmat? Well, head over to yourplaymat.com by clicking the link in the description below, and you get 10% off, and they ship worldwide. So what are you waiting for? Anyhow, have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. I'm out. Peace.